Hello, fellow cyborgs. Today I would like to talk to you about eating green. This here is my breakfast, a lovely beauty juice by Fully Raw Christina. I'll give you a link down below to the video. It's pineapple juice, kale, celery, and cucumber, and it is absolutely refreshing and very sweet, despite what it may look like. Over the past month or so, I have really been considering how I feed myself and what I put in my body. I am a live-in caregiver for my roommate, I suppose, and so I do a lot of her cooking and I make very healthy meals for her. But unfortunately, when the weekend rolls around, I found that my diet has primarily consisted of cereal, chips, muffins, and other desserty sort of treats. Not a fruit or vegetable in sight. I happened to stumble upon Fully Raw Christina, who is a YouTuber, when I was trying to find more natural skincare, and I discovered her channel and proceeded to watch almost every single video she has uploaded. She is a low-fat, fully raw vegan. She made her lifestyle look so energizing and healthy and fresh that I decided I wanted to give it a try. I'll get back to her a little bit later, but first I want to talk to you about you and me. I'm not here to tell you how to eat. I'm not here to tell you how to treat animals. That's not what the point of this video is. The point of this video is just to talk about how I'm eating a little bit greener and feeling a lot better about it. So Fully Raw Christina's diet is an extreme vegan diet. She gets 80% of her calories by fruit, 10% by leafy greens, and 10% by nuts and seeds. She gets her proteins and fats from nuts and seeds, but also, believe it or not, there is minute traces of protein and fats in almost every fruit and vegetable. She consumes quite a lot of fruit and vegetables because they are generally lower in calories. And before you balk at it, yes, she is healthy. She recently got her blood test results and she is healthier than a lot of people can say they are. Now, I do want to say that I did try out going fully raw vegan this last week and it was very, very difficult. Breakfast and lunch was rather easy. I had a juicer smoothie for breakfast, a smoothie or a large bowl of fruit for lunch, but when dinner rolled around and I had to eat 1 to 2 heads of leafy greens with a zero-fat dressing made out of fruits, I really couldn't do it. I literally couldn't stomach that much. And I don't know why it surprised me because I don't particularly like salads at the fattiest and savoriest of times, so why would I enjoy nearly just completely plain kale in a bowl? But I'm the sort of person who tends to go big or go home. Sometimes it produces very successful results and sometimes disappointing ones. I'm not going to say that I'm disappointed in myself this week because I think I made a lot of great strides mentally and physically. I think trying to eat fully raw 80-10-10 low-fat vegan for at least 5 days, that helped jumpstart my body into detoxing and getting onto the healthy side. So not at all did I waste my time or efforts. But I think at this point, going from high fatty, sugary muffins and breakfast cereals and potato chips right to one of the most intense raw vegan lifestyles, I think it was a bit of a leap. And I need to do some backpedaling. Consequently, I have checked out from my local library a bunch. Right now, I have 3 books on how to eat more raw food. At this point in my life, what I really would like to do is become vegan and eliminate dairy and meat products from my diet and incorporate as much raw food as I possibly can. May I sample my mother's beloved meatloaf when I'm home? Yes, perhaps I will. But I do not intend to buy those things myself with my own money and support those industries that I really don't want to be a part of anymore. The reason why I decided that going vegan would be a really healthy decision for me is I watched a few documentaries. I watched Forks Over Knives, Vegucated, Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead, and Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead 2. And what these documentaries did was show me how dairy and meat consumption is directly correlated with a lot of the chronic diseases that North Americans and those in the Western world are struggling with. Heart disease, diabetes, and cancer. I'm not going to go into the details. If you are curious, I highly recommend that you check out those 4 documentaries. I'll leave links to them down below. I found that they were very mild and got their point across without telling you that you were doing something wrong by not believing that the way that they believed. And I think that they presented their points really fairly. Why don't I show you some of the books that I've got from my local library? This is Going Raw by Judith Wignall. This book did a really thorough job of explaining what going raw means as far as a lifestyle change, not just a diet reboot. This book seems to use things like a dehydrator, which I currently don't have, but to help get really nice food consistency and really creative sort of recipes. This book also has step-by-step instructions on how to prepare some of the foods, like how to open up a young Thai coconut. So it seems to be like a really good resource for people who are beginning this lifestyle change rather than just trying to incorporate some raw dinners into their diet. This is Raw Food Made Easy for 1 or 2 People by Jennifer Kornblit, and I have read this one in its entirety. I've also written down quite a few recipes. This has a lot of really quick and simple recipes using basic ingredients, nothing super fancy, nothing like a dehydrator, but just a blender and a food processor, knife and cutting board. I would highly recommend you to check out this book if you like the idea of incorporating a few raw meals into your diet as a starting point and seeing if you like it. I also recommend this book if you are a novice as far as the fancy equipment and everything like that. But I'm really excited to try these recipes out, and I was very impressed by this book. The last book I have is Annie's Raw Food Essentials by Annie Fio, and I'm only halfway through reading this book, but really enjoying it. This book heavily uses a dehydrator to get a lot of things like breads and even bacon back into your life that you thought you would never try to taste the likes of again after going fully raw. This book is all about teaching you how to cook for yourself as a fully raw. So a lot of her recipes have the basic recipe, and then she explains how you can expand on them to make different flavored options, but in the same family. Annie is really interested in getting you to learn how to feed yourself rather than just copy someone's recipes. There are quite a few things in here I would like to try if I had a dehydrator on my hands. So maybe next year I'll get a dehydrator and add it to my repertoire of culinary appliances and check this back out and give some recipes a really good go. After sampling a few raw food cookbooks, I have to say, I think that depending upon the cookbook you pick up, it's a lot easier than people think, and I think it can be a lot more tasty than people think as well. I will be happy to keep you updated on my journey to eating a little greener and a little healthier. I hope that you eat some fresh, tasty food, and until next time, continue to be lovely.